The Stanek Touring Car Series has come alive in 1994. There has also been dog bite controversy. Close racing and a degree of physical contact are part and parcel of motor racing, but much of the controversy has centred around what many see as questionable driving tactics. A number of top drivers have played regular roles in Stanek Touring Car incidents this year, and the situation is causing concern amongst the powers that be in motor racing.
There has been questionable driving tactics in the past, which certainly is unnecessary given our small field of cars, particularly at the moment. However, I think a few of our leading drivers, like I think myself and Michael Briggs and Dion and Sean, we've all really come to terms with it, and we give each other space on the track. And I think the youngsters that's coming in should really learn by that and drive more maturely and make sure that all the cars get to the end of the race.
First few races in my SATCAR career weren't very good. I got hit off every race. And the last one now at Kyalami, I decided to get a bit aggressive just like the rest of the guys are, because that looks like it's the only way to, to get a position or anything. But at Kyalami I was a bit hasty. But what happened with me and Nick Duval, it was just, I was coming to the mineshaft much quicker than he was. He got a little bit sideways, and he did what any driver would have done. He protected his line, and I couldn't slow down. So I'd either have to hit him right off the track or try to avoid him, what I did try to do, and I did still touch him, but I did try to avoid him. I could do nothing else.
These kind of incidents will happen. The cars are closely matched. We're driving hard. These kind of crashes are not good for the formula, I guess, but we also can't drive around in single file, and you got to make your move on the guy in front of you, and when it doesn't come off, I had the incident earlier in the year with Nick. It was unfortunate, and I wasn't happy about it that it happened, because up until then Nick and I had a great race, and we still enjoy a great understanding between each other from a racing point of view.
I think that it's not only the touring car body that's concerned, it's motorsport control as well. And basically, if you look at it, at the moment we've only got fields of 12, 14 cars. We can't afford to lose the cars, irrespective of the fact that it's dangerous and highly expensive. So both here as in the UK, which we have the same situation, is we're doing everything to stamp this out. We have a code of rules, code of driving rules, that any accidents taking place at a certain part of the racetrack, i.e. down the straight, is absolutely unquestionable. That's not acceptable. Within certain points of a corner, if you're ahead of a person or alongside him, then the person on the outside must give room to the guy on the inside.
Stanek proudly presents highlights of rounds 15 and 16 of the Stanek SATCAR series from Aldo Scribante. Stanek SATCAR, the formula of the future.
For the first time since the inception of the formula in South Africa, the Stanek Touring Car Brigade moved to the Aldo Scribante circuit in Port Elizabeth for rounds 15 and 16 of the series. A huge crowd of nearly 24,000 turned out at the first meeting at Aldo Scribante in nearly 2 years. The circuit fell upon hard times, but the Algoa Motorsport Club recently pumped in more than R250,000 into the facility, and Aldo Scribante has won back its place on the South African Championship calendar. The Stanek SATCAR series enjoys heavy support from the South African motor manufacturers. Under standard body shells, the cars are highly sophisticated racing thoroughbreds, with touring car racing now firmly established throughout the world. The South African series is currently led by reigning champion Mike Briggs, with Sean van der Linde in second place, Nick Duval is third, and Grant McCleary fourth.
We're just testing rear suspension, and I think something must have broken in hangar, and the back came out, and I clipped the curb on the inside and then rolled a couple of times, destroying the car. But unfortunate, because we're really looking forward to Saturday.
After his accident in practice in the engine VW Jetta, driver Chris Aberdeen was given a checkup at the track medical facility.
Super. Can bend that way, that is strong. Okay.
The damage is so extensive. We'll have to get it back to the workshop and sort of find out where the trouble started. Not easy when you just look at something and there's so many mangled bits and pieces after the crash.
The tar and the bitumen has subsided below the surface of the stone chips, as you can see here, with the result that the rubber on the tires gets worn away incredibly fast. In fact, to such an extent that the the points of the stones not enough to warm up the rubber, and therefore the compound of the tire doesn't really make much difference whether you're on a hard compound or soft compound, because they never get a chance to warm up. And therefore, in this race, it's really just important to have a lot of rubber on the tires, because it's going to be important to not have it all worn away at the end of the race, and therefore it's better to go for the harder compound.
Aldo Scribenti is one of the tightest championship circuits in South Africa. And apart from the little psychological battles that can be won during the official qualifying session, the track layout places a premium on a good grid position. With Scribenti uncharted territory, as far as the Stanek Sat cars were concerned, practice and qualifying session took on an added meaning. There were also many problems for the engine VW Jetta team, with Terry Moss losing a wheel when a rear hub broke. Young Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra was quickly on the pace. A former motocross champion, McCleary has a liking for Aldo Scribenti. And while McCleary was posting impressive lap time, Terry Moss was back in the pits with the three-wheel Jetta.
What was so bad? Just that it was so scary. Tried to hang a point. Yeah, I was coming into the first test, just hanging a nice hill. Wow, I thought, oh, I'm going to roll just like you did. That didn't. Anyway, what's happened is done.
Privateer Farouk Danga in the speedy car sales Vauxhall Cavalier was struggling with an injured arm, a legacy of contact with the Waller Child Army a week before the Port Elizabeth race. Rally driver Hannes Grobler was only fractionally off the pace in the second factory BP Nissan Sentra, with Class 3 frontrunner Jesse Huggett again out in the privately entered Elisa car rental Volkswagen Jetta. There was plenty of activity at the pit wall where crews timed their drivers, and there was also plenty of action for technicians in pit lane. Teams are restricted as to the number of tyres they can use during qualifying in the races, and tyre wear was always going to be a factor. Reigning Stanek touring car champion Mike Briggs on his home circuit was keen to do well, but Farouk Danga was not happy. BMW factory driver Dion Joubert has had a disappointing season so far. Joubert arrived in Port Elizabeth under mental cloud, but it all came right on the day. The former Cape Townian put the BMW Enviro car on pole position, much to the delight of the BMW technician.
Ali. I can't believe it.
Joubert was ahead of Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra, with teammate Sean van der Linde in the second BMW Enviro car on the second row of the grid, with Mike Briggs in the Opel Racing Astra alongside him. The organisers then decided to shorten the qualifying session, much to the disgust of some team managers who took up the matter with Touring Car Association Chairman Graham Duxbury.
Either we have the time or we don't. That's the way I look at it.
Are they waiting now or not, Graham?
You might as well make it 2 minutes and nobody goes.
No, they closed after 12 minutes and some seconds. The session stopped. So we had our second car in the pit waiting, but it's not for us serious, but we had the car waiting and suddenly the boom closed.
Okay, you guys must decide. They've offered you, they cut the practice short, there's no question of that. Because they've cut the practice short, they're prepared to offer you 15 minutes of practice. There's no point in giving you 2 minutes of practice if you haven't got time to go out and do anything. Yeah. So the choice is up to you. If you want the practice, we can arrange 15 minutes of practice.
Okay, we want it. One, without question.
I want it.
You don't want it?
Don't want it.
And you?
No, I don't.
What, you don't want to have it or you don't need it? So therefore I'll leave
You
it.
don't need it. If we can't have any agreement here, the clerk of the course will decide what he wants to do. You have 2 want and 2 don't. I'll pass that to the clerk of the course and he'll decide. Okay?
Well, I'm on pole, so I obviously don't want. The sessions could change a lot. It could be slower. I'm probably in a good position because my tyres didn't really get hot. I bought it my lap or my session before they got really hot. Unless that's the case, or somebody's got new tyres, you can't really go out again on tyres that have been hot and now cooled down. They'll just be slower. So maybe some other guys will benefit. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's the same for everyone, and I think it's a little bit unfair because the flare came out when I was on my quickest lap, and they actually stopped the clock while I was on my lap, and I think that would have been my quickest lap. But so they didn't count it. I'm still second on the grid, but I think I could have maybe gone on to pole because I'm 1/100th of a second slower than Dion. But I've done both my set of tyres for qualifying, so really, I mean, there's nothing I can do now. I can't even go out now, so I think it's the same for everyone. It's pretty unfair if they open the practice again,
some of the teams who are waiting for the last minute to go out feel a little bit aggrieved by this. So what the organisers have now agreed is to give 5 minutes, which gives enough time to warm up the tyres, warm up everything, and basically do 2 laps of practice. So that's it. They've now got 5 minutes to go out and do their practice.
Well, not everyone was happy with the compromise reached with the organisers. Dion Joubert had to sit out an anxious couple of minutes while the other drivers went out onto the circuit to try and improve on their time. While the incident created a little tension for the organisers, team managers and the drivers, the decision to extend the practice session had no major effect on the final grid position. Dion Joubert grabbed his first pole position of the year in the BMW Envirocar, with Grant McCleary alongside him on the grid in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra. Sean van der Linde in the second BMW Envirocar and series leader Mike Briggs in the factory Opel Astra shared the second row of the grid. BP Nissan Sentra teammates Nick de Waal and Hannes Grobler were on the third row. Farouk Danga in the Speedy Car Sales Vauxhall Cavalier and Terry Moss in the engine Volkswagen Jetta shared row 4. Still troubled by a sore arm and shoulder, Danga paid a visit to the track medical facility.
Our power steering broke on the car, and these cars are physically so hard. It's impossible to drive the car without a power steering. I tried to drive it for 2 laps, and in the process I hurt myself, and that's it. So the muscle is just very, very sore. And, hopefully with this I should be able to drive at least. Yeah, it's still a lot of pain. Yeah. It is still sore. It's just my gear shift is very difficult. I seem to battle to do the gear changing. As soon as I push on the arm, it seems like a shockwave through here. Yeah, but if this is all right, we're going to go and race, and there won't be a problem.
Super.
We're all set for the 15th round of the Stanek Sat Car Series, with the cars coming onto the grid at the end of the warm-up lap. We have 10 cars in this race, and there's Farouk Danga, who's had a pain-killing injection. Dion Joubert's on pole position in the BMW Envirocar as the lights turn to green, and Sean van der Linde has made a great start from the second row. He's up into second place behind Joubert. Grant McCleary third with one of the Nissans on the outside of Briggs, and McCleary. There's Nick de Waal in the BP Nissan. He's trying to find a way past Briggs. The BMWs are out in front. Nick de Waal is locked in behind McCleary and Briggs, and he's looking for a way through. De Waal is attacking Briggs again, but Briggs is holding his line. The two cars are side by side, and Briggs isn't going to budge. The Nissan is up on the curb, but Briggs is the inside line for the next corner and forces his way through. Now Briggs is trying to sneak up on the inside of McCleary, but his teammate closes the door. Joubert leads from van der Linde with McCleary third and Briggs fourth. Briggs is followed by de Waal and Grobler in the BP Nissan Sentras, and Farouk Danga is on Grobler's exhaust. The field has settled down as we come up to the end of lap 1 with Dion Joubert out in front in the BMW Envirocar. Joubert has edged away from van der Linde. McCleary is right behind the BMW with Briggs followed by the two BP Nissans. At the back of the field, Jesse Huggard leads Percy Swanepoel in the Class B battle as Grant McCleary closes right up in van der Linde under braking. We also have a race cam mounted in the rear light of Sean van der Linde's car. This is a fantastic view of the action as Grant McCleary chases after Sean van der Linde in the second BMW. The drivers are using every piece of available circuit. Nick de Waal went a little wide there in the BP Nissan Sentra, but no damage done. The cars are tightly bunched. Van der Linde looks as though he could be holding up McCleary and Briggs. The two Opel Astras are right on his tail of the BMW, and the leader, Dion Joubert, is stretching the gap between first and second. Farouk Danga, despite an injured arm, is right up with the Nissans as the cars complete 2 laps. Joubert is edging away, and van der Linde is still holding up the two Opels. Mike Briggs is tucked in behind Grant McCleary in the Fiji Autoglass Opel. Briggs leads the championship, and he's not going to be happy with 4th place at this stage. More action from the race came in the taillight of van der Linde's BMW. McCleary's doing all he can to find a way around van der Linde. Briggs is right with him, and if the two Opels can get past van der Linde, they can then think about trying to haul in Joubert. Van der Linde is definitely holding up the Opel. He's doing his teammate Dion Joubert a favour, but McCleary and Briggs won't be happy with the situation. McCleary closes right up in front of Linda under braking. The BM has enough power to accelerate away from the Opel out of the corner. Overtaking is not easy in the circuit, but both McCleary and Briggs will have to come up with a plan to get past him. And if they want to do anything about getting onto the tail of Dion Joubert, who's a long way ahead, this is the battle for second, third and fourth, and Van der Linde's doing a good job of keeping those Opels at bay. The Briggs car showing a few battle scars after his early coming together with Nick de Waal, who's fallen back slightly in fifth spot. Jesse Huggett still leads Kirsty Swanepoel in Class B, and the Braais are going full blast as another terrific battle is starting to develop, with Hannes Robler catching teammate Nick de Waal in the Nissan Centre. Farouk Dangler is catching them both. Farouk is trying to find a way around Krobler, but he won't be having any of that. Krobler's one of those drivers who never gives up, and he's got his hands full with Farouk Dangler and the Vauxhall Cavalier. We're going to the braking area of the main straight, and Farouk Danger's having another go down the inside. Krobler closes the door on Danger. This battle is certainly hotting up. Oh, a mistake from Danger at the entrance to the S's, and the Vauxhall Cavalier's gone off the circuit. The pressure's off Hannes Krobler, but Farouk will be kicking himself. Back to the Grant McCleary race cam, and Briggs is going past his teammate. McCleary went wide of the corner, leading into the main straight, and Briggs took his shot. This might just be team orders. Briggs is leading the championship, and with the BMWs out in front, McCleary might have been told to let his teammate through. Whatever the case, Briggs is up into third, and we'll have to wait and see if he can catch Van der Linde or Joubert. This is furious high-speed motorsport. The position hasn't changed up front. Joubert still leads in the BMW Vira car. Joubert's been out in front since the start. He's followed by his teammate Sean van der Linde, who won twice at Kyalami in the last Stanek Touring car outing. Briggs is up into third and McCleary fourth, and it doesn't look as though Briggs is making any impression on van der Linde. There are little personal duels going on throughout the field. Hannes Krobler is right alongside his BP Nissan teammate Nick de Waal and is looking to move up into fifth spot. Krobler took the wider line into the corner, but he managed to get the power down first. A clever piece of driving from Hannes Krobler, and he's managed to ease his way ahead of de Waal, who may have a tyre problem. Someone's coming into the pits. It's Kirsty Swanepoel in the BMW that runs in Class B, and he looks to have a major problem. That leaves Jesse Huggett out on his own in Class B in the Elisa car rental Volkswagen Jetta, and Sean van der Linde is going for the lead. This is the last lap. Van der Linde's caught Dion Joubert and has moved into the lead. Joubert must have picked up some sort of a problem. He looked safe to win again, but Van der Linde's caught his BM Envirocar teammate on the last lap. They've a corner to go, and Sean van der Linde is out in the front. Van der Linde is going to make it 3 touring car wins in a row. Out comes the checkered flag, and Sean van der Linde leads Dion Joubert across the line for a BMW 1-2. A great result for the BMW Envirocar team, with Sean van der Linde winning from Dion Joubert. The Opel pair of Mike Briggs and Grant McCleary were third and fourth. Hannes Krobler was fifth ahead of teammate Nick de Waal, and then came Farouk Dangler.
Well, I mean, my car was just so good. I just drove so easily, and I was getting away from everybody so quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was battling with Grant and Michael in the beginning. I think I was holding them up in the beginning a bit, but then it seemed like the tires went off and I could start getting a slow gap. And obviously Dion was waiting for me a bit, but yeah, it's nice.
Good race. It just took me too long to get past Grant, and in doing so I had to really work my tyres hard, so I had nothing left to go for Sean. He was just too strong toward the end of the race for me. So I don't know, the second heat we'll try a different tactic. I've got to get them early in the race while I'm still strong.
What tactic are you going to try, Wood?
Stay with us for highlights of round 16 of the Stanek Satcar Series. Stanek are the proud sponsors of the Satcar Series. Stanek, your motor vehicle finance specialists. With us, you can go so much further. The battle resumes in round 16 of the Stanek Satcar Series.
Here is round 16 of the Stanek Touring Car Series. The BMW Envirocar, Sean van der Linde and Dion Joubert on the front row. As the lights turn to green, Dion Joubert has made a clean start to get ahead of van der Linde. Mike Briggs is third with Hannes Krobler on the inside of Grant McCleary, and we pick up the action from the race cam on Nick Duval's BP Nissan Sentra. McCleary is forced out wide. Duval has also taken opportunity to get inside the open and move up into fifth spot. More magnificent action from the tail light race cam on Van der Linde's car. Briggs climbing all over the back of that BMW. Now Duval is looking for a way around teammate Hannes Grobler. Joubert leads with Van der Linde defending the inside line in the second BMW Enviro car. Briggs is third, Grobler fourth, but Duval is all over his teammate. The two BP Nissan Sentras are side by side. This is the action from McCleary's PG Autoglass Opel Astra. Grobler must have missed the gear. Duval and McCleary are past him. It's the same pattern as round 15. Joubert leads Van der Linde with Briggs third. Duval is fourth. A tremendous scrap has developed between McCleary and the Opel Astra and the two Nissans. The cars are weaving all over the circuit as the drivers jockey for position. McCleary's going to make a move on Duval. He moves up the inside of the Nissan. Action from McCleary race cam and Duval is holding his line. Duval won't budge. Dion Joubert is out in front and looking for his first win of the season. Sean van der Linde has won the last three Standing Touring Car rounds and he's in second position with championship leader Mike Briggs right on his tail. Nick Duval is fourth with Grant McCleary all over the Nissan. Hannes Grobler has dropped back to sixth in the second Nissan and he's starting to come and attack from Farouk Danga in his Vauxhall Cavalier. The big battle on the circuit is still between Grant McCleary and the two BP Nissan. McCleary's in the Opel Astra filling in the Nissan sandwich. The huge crowd is loving every minute of it. Owen Duval has gone wide coming onto the main straight. McCleary's taken full advantage of this error from Duval. McCleary's got the inside line for the corner at the end of the main straight, but Duval is going to try and drive around on the outside. The two cars are side by side, but McCleary's holding his line. There was contact between the two cars and McCleary almost lost it. McCleary looked a little ragged there for a moment or two. The duel between him and Duval is really developing into something to watch. McCleary's fourth, Duval fifth, but this is no holds-barred racing and Duval is forcing his way up the inside of the Opel Astra. Here comes drama. Nick Duval simply muscled his way past Grant McCleary. Let's look at the action replays from both race games. Nick Duval decided that was the piece of road he wanted and shouldered McCleary out of the way, and McCleary is not at all happy. A couple of laps later, we have another tremendous duel developing. Grant McCleary in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra has got ahead of Duval again, but has been caught by both Hannes Grobler and Farouk Danga. Duval looks as though he's a tyre problem. Farouk Danga is swarming all over Hannes Grobler. This is the battle for 5th, 6th and 7th. Duval has lost touch with Grant McCleary, but he has other problems. His teammate, Hannes Grobler, is waiting to pounce, but Grobler has problems of his own with Farouk Danga breathing down his neck. Nick Duval in the BP Nissan Sentra leads his teammate Hannes Grobler, but Farouk Danga's tyres appear to be holding up the better. Duval is struggling and Danga's getting closer and closer to Grobler. Danga's making his move up the inside. He comes up on the inside of Grobler but turned in too late. The Nissan took a hefty thump and Grobler spun. Here's the race game replay. Grobler will be feeling a little grieved with all this. We're back with the leaders. It's the BMW Enviro cars of Dion Joubert and Sean van der Linde still out in the front. Mike Briggs is third in the factory Opel Astra. Grant McCleary fourth in the PG Autoglass Opel Astra. And here's Koos Swanepoel going very slowly in his BMW in Class B, and he looks to have a major problem. And a major problem for Nick Duval. Farouk Danga's caught Duval, and with his tyres going off, there's no way Duval is going to be able to hold off this speedy Class Sales Vauxhall Cavalier for too much longer. Duval manages to stay ahead of Swanepoel, pulls into the pits, but Danga will know Duval has a problem, and he'll be working out just where he can make his decisive move. The race game action is from Farouk Danga's Vauxhall Cavalier. He chases Nick Duval down the main straight. Duval went a little wide, and Danga's looking to sneak through in the inside. Danga's got him, and it's up to 5th place for him. It was only a matter of time before Farouk got past, and with his tyres losing the grip, it doesn't look as though Duval is going to be able to fight back. The circuit is abrasive, and it also hasn't been used for a long time. There's a lot of dirt in the track, and that's not making life any easier for these drivers. The leaders are coming up to start their last lap, and still Deon Joubert's out in front of Sean van der Linde. They've a 5-second cushion over Briggs, and van der Linde is going for the lead. Joubert moves over to let his teammate through, and van der Linde is on course for his 4th Stanek Touring Car victory in a row. Sean van der Linde's father, Henny, was a multiple South African champion, and Sean looks to be a chip off the old block. His brother Etienne is a rising star in Formula V, and it's all happening for van der Linde and BMW. And here's more superb pictures from the race game in the tail out of the BMW Envirocar as Sean van der Linde leads teammate Deon Joubert on the last lap. There's 2 corners to go, and the BMW Motorsport team is on course to pick up another 1-2 result. Sean van der Linde leads Deon Joubert into the last corner. Van der Linde's gone a little wide and Joubert closes right up, but one suspects that with van der Linde second in the championship, Joubert is quite happy to let his teammate stay out in the front. So another tremendous result for the BMW Motorsport team. Sean van der Linde and Deon Joubert making it another 1-2 triumph. What a day for van der Linde and Joubert. Mike Briggs again takes 3rd place ahead of teammate Grant McCleary, with Farouk Ganga in 5th ahead of Hannes Strobler and Nick Duval, and Class B winner Jesse Huggett.
I think we needed a result like this again just to get BMW motivated again, and I'm very glad for BMW and for Deon that we could do it, and to Michael. Yeah.
No, you know we've got to win the championship, and we're going to do it this year. Our car is so nice, it's so great. We're involved with the big international company. We've got great stuff on our car. I'm very pleased.
You know, I know our guys, we work far too hard. We haven't given up yet. I'm still leading the championship. Watch me by the end of the year. I'm still champion.
Fighting talks from all these drivers. Next up on the Stanek Touring Car Series calendar is the National Championship meeting at AA Kyalami on September the 3rd. Don't miss it.